Tony, there's no more stalling tactics.
Nope.
The floor is yours. You got 2 hot and sour picks to deliver. Let's get it going.
Okay, so are we going to go 1 and 1, or do you want my 2 picks and then your 2 picks?
I think you go 2 and 2. You go 2, I go 2. Yeah.
Utah, give me 2.
Utah, give me 2. Exactly on high noon. Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan Hyatt, for the shout out of Busey. Okay. I picked the home dogs a lot this season, the home underdogs, but usually in the playoffs, the home teams are not the underdogs, so that's not the case this year. In the playoffs, but I do like the visiting dogs of the Washington Commanders. They have that young, I don't give a crap vibe. We're gonna come in here to F you up, and I feel like Washington has like this like kind of energy where I wouldn't want to be facing them. Like imagine if the Niners were facing them this weekend, would you feel like really super confident that the Niners were going to roll?
No, it's kind of how I felt going into the Niner-Lions playoff game last year. And my nerves and my instincts were correct because the Detroit jumped all over the Niners in the first half of that game.
Right.
And so no, I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. It's a hot young team on a roll. They're in the playoffs. There's a lot of excitement around them. They're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks, so it sounds like you're leaning Washington.
I'm leaning Washington. I'm like it. They're getting 3 points, right? And so I just feel like they're playing good ball. Jaden Daniels, 3,568 passing yards on the season, 25 TDs, man. I mean, also Jaden Daniels, 891 rushing yards. Terry McLaurin, 1,096 receiving yards. Like, those are some good numbers, man, and they've got a decent squad. I feel like they could go into Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is playing some good ball too. I think it's gonna be a really good game, but I think it could come down to those 3 points, right?
All right.
So I'm liking that. I think Brian Robinson could have a good game. So I'm liking Washington +3 as my first pick. Okay, second pick. I don't feel as confident about this just because of Sam Darnold's ability to throw some picks when he wants to throw some picks.
Go ahead.
For a goof, he just wants to throw some picks.
Right.
But I'm gonna take Vikings at LA, which is now at Arizona.
Glendale. Yeah, they moved the game. Yeah.
Vikings -3 at Arizona. I mean at LA, which will be in Arizona. I like the Vikings. I feel like Darnold will rise up for this game. And I just don't know about LA. And I feel like if the Vikings, whose defense is pretty good, if they can get to Stafford, then they'll win, I would say by 10. But if you give Stafford any time, that's when he's dangerous, So,
all right, Tony. All right, listen.
Vikings -3 and get JJ in the mix. Get Hawkinson in the mix. Jordan Addison in the mix. Aaron Jones in the mix. I mean, I feel like the Vikings could do some damage.
Wow, that's like the most serious take I've ever heard you deliver. It was like said with a straight face and facts and figures. You were throwing stats at me. It was almost like too professional for this show. You're making me nervous now. Like I gotta step my game up because I'm coming at you with no stats. I'm coming at you with gut feelings across the board. But that's worked for me this season, so I'm not changing my approach at this point. First game I want to look at, I believe, is the first game of the weekend. I think this might be. Yeah, this will be. Yes, this will be the opening game of the entire playoff weekend. I'm talking about the Los Angeles Chargers going down to Texas, taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans are getting 3 points. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Tony, I like the Chargers in this game, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I love their quarterback. I love Justin Herbert. I still kind of maintain an argument that he might be the most talented quarterback in the entire NFL. He just hasn't had the greatest team around him in previous years, and his O-line has been spotty. But here comes Jim Harbaugh. Jim, dude, say what you want to say about Harbaugh. As crazy as he is, and as many run-ins as we had with him on the Murph and Max show, because we used to have a weekly hit with him. It was like a car crash every week. But he gets it done, man. He got it done in Michigan. He put the Niners in the Super Bowl. He goes down to take over the Chargers. Bam, they're in the playoffs. So respect to Coach Harbaugh. They posted an 11-6 record. They're pretty good on the road. They're 5-3 on the road. 5-3 record for the Houston Texans at home in the meantime, and they have a 10-7 record. Isn't it wild that the team with the worst record is actually hosting this game? But that's because the Chargers are in the Chiefs division, which, I mean, believe me, next week, dude, I get the flamethrower out for the Chiefs because I'm not a Chiefs fan. More on that next week.
What's the Andy Reid commercial? What is it?
Fumblerooski.
Oh man,
Andy Reid, you're making me not like you. You're making me not like you.
It bums me out because I've always liked Reid, but it's I don't know.
Enough is how much can I take, dude? I see you, Taylor Swift. Great. What do you want from me? I mean, the Kelsey brothers, Mahomes. I've had it. I've OD'd on all of them. I've had it.
Same.
I do want to shout out the Houston Texans a little bit, though, because they have a great young quarterback, too. He's fun to watch. And also, shout out to their linebacker, Henry To'oTo'o. Tony, this is a kid that played high school football with my kid over at De La Salle a couple of years ago. One day, they were recruiting Henry To'oTo'o big time. In fact, Harbaugh came in. Harbaugh apparently went to every class with him the day that he was on campus at De La Salle trying to recruit him. And then my kid James sent me a picture. He took a cell phone shot of Nick Saban.
What do you mean he went to every class with him? Like into his class?
That's correct. Jim Harbaugh shadowed Henry To'oTo'o the entire day. Sat in his biology class. I'm not kidding. And but then my kid got all wound up because he's like, Dad, Nick Saban's here. Nick Nick Saban got him because he played his college ball down in Alabama. Actually, first I think he went to Tennessee first. But then he transferred over to Alabama, and now he's a linebacker for the Texans. So I got to shout him out.
Nico Collins, dude, for the Texans is a stud. I mean, he's a hell of a player.
I don't know. A lot of people probably didn't pay attention to this, but the Chargers had quietly one of the best defenses in the entire league this year. Yes. They played great defense. So it's tough to score on the Chargers. I'm going to take them. I'm taking the Chargers. I'm taking Herbert. I'm taking Harbaugh. And I'm going to go ahead and give the Texans 3 points. My second pick of the weekend, Tony, will be a Sunday game. It's your 10 a.m. kickoff where the Denver Broncos are going up to Buffalo, taking on the Buffalo Bills. There's a big spread in this game. The Broncos are getting 9 points. But let me ask you a question. Do you see Bo Nix rolling up in the Buffalo and getting his first playoff win on the road? Hell no. Dude.
No.
I think that the MVP discussion this year, Lamar's getting a lot of talk, and he deserves that. But also, I think Josh Allen deserves a lot of consideration this year for MVP of the league. He's had a phenomenal season. The Bills are 13-4. I got news for you, Denver. Buffalo has not lost at home this year. They won every game at home. I see this as like an impossible task for the Broncos to go in. Now, the 9 points, that is a big spread. But you've seen how things can snowball. Dude, look what they did to the Niners up there about a month ago. That was one of the worst Niner games I've seen in ages. They got dominated on both sides of the ball for 4 quarters. It was ugly in the snow. So to me, this is kind of an easy one. I know it's a lot of points, but I think this thing could get out of control up there. I could see Buffalo winning this game by 2 touchdowns, to be honest with you. So take the Bills. And it's a feel-good story, dude. Maybe the Bills will be the team to knock out Patty Mahomes and his merry band of NFL referees he likes to run around with. Because I'm saying go Bills in advance in anticipation of – that's the matchup I think we'd all like to see, right? The Bills and the Chiefs getting it on. But in the meantime, take Buffalo over Denver. The hot and sour picks are now in the book, and they've now been recorded live for the first time ever, Creative Tony.